Fought across several months in 287 PCU and still largely unrecorded by Centran historians to this day, the Hidden War was the only military campaign fought by the forces of the southeastern frontier prior to their secession from the Centrum Assembly, and played a critical role in setting the stage for the Frontier War. In the long build-up to his revolution against the Assembly, the cunning frontier nationalist Kaito Hakim had paid close attention to political situations in each of the frontier worlds, with a keen eye towards leveraging them to his revolutionary ends. These attentions would ultimately lay the groundwork for the Nightbridge prison uprising, and would secure the infatuation and subservience of Teldrin's Henrik de Barn and all of the economic power he represented. But the most far-reaching of Hakim's political machinations were directed toward the shadowy reaches of the Atamara crossroads. The sparse population of Atamara is spread across dozens of often unregistered space stations, as well as pressurized habs on the surface of the shattered rogue planet itself, many of which are at least influenced, if not entirely ruled, by the system's various roving pirate groups. The colossal amount of valuable freight that passes through the Atamara crossroads every day attracts pirates from across the cluster, often leading to conflicts between local pirate groups over the best hunting grounds. In the 280s, the two largest pirate groups in the region were the local branch of the normally pioneer-based Crown Skull Buccaneers and the forces of Dacian Lynch of Nocturne, known as Dacian the Corsair. In a lagging third place with a smaller force were the notoriously vicious Paleborn of the pirate lord Arcelia Abascal. Unlike the other groups, the Paleborn exclusively accepted those born and raised in Atamara to their ranks, often taken as children from lives scavenging within the ducts of stations. The Paleborn have lived lives light years away from the closest sunlight, and are accustomed to going to any length to survive. Within the brutal social ecosystem of the Paleborn, only the most vicious and uncompromising rise to the top, and from this position, Arcelia Abascal wielded sole and total authority over her reavers. It was this sole authority and lack of outside influence that made the Paleborn more appealing to Kaito Hakim, and potentially more malleable. Where Dacian had his lieutenants, and the Crown Skulls had their comrades in other systems, Abascal was one woman with a legion of ferocious and adoring followers, and so it would be only one woman who Hakim needed to place in his debt. Wielding his now substantial influence over the frontier colonial militia, a group that had by now slowly transitioned into having almost no CDF oversight at all, Hakim assembled a small force to send into Atamara to begin supplying and supporting Abascal in her efforts to overthrow and subjugate the other pirate bands. This force would be dispatched under the pretense of a security operation to curb pirate activity in Atamara, and was pitched to the colonial governor of Atamara and his superiors in the Centran Parliament under these terms. In need of a stalwart leader for the campaigning force, Hakim arranged for the release of Devin Tandel from the Nightbridge Penitentiary, where he had been held for numerous years. Formerly a senior post-captain in the Centran Defence Force, one of the first frontier-born citizens ever to enlist, Tandel had led an impressive naval career until his family had fallen into financial strife and he had ultimately resorted to misappropriating CDF equipment for black market sale to cover his debts. Appointed as the militia's first fleet leader in the wake of his release, Tandil was deployed by Hakim into the Atamara system on the 144th of Solstice 286 PCU, at the head of a squadron of 8 outriders and several support craft, to make a secret rendezvous with Arcelia Abascal. 2 of Tandil's outriders were immediately gifted to the Paleborn, the first of many such gifts across the length of the campaign and beyond, and Tandil and Abascal held their first strategy meeting. Only some details of these meetings are retained by history, but it is beyond doubt that Tandil did not hold Abascal in especially high esteem, being appalled by the brutality of the Paleborn. He was also confronted with the strange reality that the very savagery for which the Paleborn were so renowned in fact made them fairly poor pirates. The total unwillingness of any merchant to even consider surrendering to them had led to many of their quarries either escaping or fighting to total destruction, and as a result, the Paleborn themselves were in a near-constant state of poor supply. Where other pirate groups would be likely to dispose of their leader in a mutiny under such desperate circumstances, not even the inkling of such a notion was present among the Paleborn. Such was the almost cultish worship of Abascal as their leader. Tandil noted in his own journals just how alien he found the Paleborn to be, remarking that they had developed into something less akin to a pirate gang and more like a strange and autocratic micro-culture, where Arcelia Abascal was essentially deified as a symbol of power through violence. Much was kept from the eyes of the visiting militia personnel, and unsustained rumours abounded, some even suggesting that Paleborn crews were practicing ritualistic cannibalism behind closed doors. It may be that if Hakim had not seen their potential as warriors, the Paleborn would have simply ceased to exist within a few years, as their practices were functionally unsustainable in the long term, and yet within a few months of collaboration with Tandel's squadron, they would find themselves the unchallenged masters of Atamara. Thank you for watching. You can get the Sojourn through various distributors, all of which are accessible through www.thesojournaudiodrama.com. You can also get the series through Patreon, where you'll be able to access various bonus features, including our visual dictionary, Guinevere cross-sections, and anthology shorts. Remember to join us on Discord and get regular updates on all upcoming Sojourn releases. All the related links can be found below this video. Fair winds.